Welcome to the City of Heroes podcast, a resource for the casual heroes gamer.
Your hosts, Chooch and Viv, are here to explain basic and advanced features of CoH,
as well as give tips and answer your questions about this great MMO. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the City of Heroes podcast. I don't know why that music cue didn't cue, but I'm Chooch, and I'm joined by my wife, Viv. Hello. Oh.
Hey, y'all.
It's still not playing. Okay, stop. Play. It was playing the other music loop. This isn't fair. There we go. There's the cool, chill vibe. So,
Guest just left. We're transitioning, guys. We're changing gears right here in front of you.
Yeah. It is December 25th, and the kids have left, and we're left to our own devices, and what do? We talk about video games. Yeah.
Hey, everybody.
Hope everybody's having a great day. And so glad you could join us in the chat here.
Oh my gosh.
So there isn't
isn't
a whole lot of City of Heroes podcast news this episode. It's not a whole lot going on new with us. We're going through the holidays, so we've been pretty busy, but we've been working on some new topics and working on some new exciting content. There's tons and tons and tons of content that we want to cover. I'm hoping in the next episode that we will start our spotlights of lore spotlights. Mm-hmm. So different villain groups, hero groups, and so nuggets of information of where they came from and maybe where they're going, and that'll be fun. We talked about, although we did not really orchestrate, in the last episode, Trauma Train Rich had, I think it was his character Hecho in Mexico, had known where I had logged out last time. So when Cooler was here on the screen, chilling out, and he was behind him dancing around, and I thought that was hilarious. Mm-hmm. And thought it would be fun if we did like a game that was like find us, like where in the world are Chooch and Viv recording from, kind of thing. And so, but we didn't actually plan it, and I didn't plan anything. So
next time.
Yeah, but I have parked in a secret location, and this may be familiar to some. And if it is, and you can find me, then you get a prize or something. And I am on. Oh shoot! I am on.
Okay, I can. say
the server's cool.
Everlasting.
No. Yeah. Everlasting. Thank you. Sorry.
Peek inside our marriage. I'm pretty sure it was everlasting.
So, anyways, I forgot to click.
I'll log in and see where you are.
I had weird server. No, since we're usually on Indomitable or on Excelsior, it was weird to log off here. But anyways, that's just a fun thing that we plan on, where we will both be in the same place in the future. It seemed like a good idea at the time.
Oh, you're hidden. That's smart. Yeah,
that's
I can't
what
tell you what server you're on.
That's what I'd forgotten to do, was to hide. And I didn't want to say I forgot to hide before I hid. Although everybody saw my globals pop up or whatever. Nice. So you were scouring the forums and found a little bit of news, right? Or,
a wee bit, just a scotch, yes.
The devs are on winter break, so things are very slow on the servers.
I logged out in the Hive, and I logged in to see where Chooch is, and I just got an invite to a Hammy Raid.
Same thing. For now. As soon as I logged in, boom, I got invited to a league.
Right. I should leave the Hive. So there's not much going on. One of the announcements that we got from the homecoming dev staff was that they are going to be closing homecoming support for non-urgent requests from the 23rd to the 27th to ensure that the awesome team of volunteers, let's remember they're volunteers, everybody, can feel free to take a much-needed break over the holidays and spend time with their family and loved ones. So the recommendation is for folks to seek help from the community or sources such as the official forums or the Discord server for minor issues, rather than submitting a support request via the website or via the /petition command. For time-sensitive requests, we still suggest submitting a support request with the word urgent in the title. We will be responding as soon as possible. Thanks for your patience and understanding, and wish you all a happy and safe holiday. Sorry, I'm not on much sleep tonight. Last night, yeah. And that was, let's see, the next. Yeah, that was just from the homecoming team. So then the next thing that I have is Happy Hollywood. Thanks, Taxi. I need a Hollywood sign emote, maybe. Voodoo found you.
Voodoo found me.
Doll found you. Of course you did.
Here, have a desync.
Be honest, Doll. Did you have the global hint, or did you know where he was? From where he, like, his background.
I bet you recognized it.
Yeah. Oh, she came to party.
Saw the floor. Nice. Oh, nice.
Very cool. So the next thing I have from the forums is from GM Navigator and, or Game Master, I guess, I can't tell. Said, happy holidays, everyone. It's finally time to announce the winner of the 2021 Holiday AE contest. So they have a couple of honorable mentions. The first one is called The Dance-Off That Saved Christmas, and it's ARC ID 44962, created by @ClaveDark5, which is cute because it's like the Dave Clark 5. It's got 3 missions. The description is lame Christmas schlock ruins TV every year. So why should the AE be any different? Help Santa save Christmas through a series of weak character motivations and underdeveloped plot holes that Harold, Angel of the Paragon Times, hearken to as an asinine affront to the holiday spirit. Let's see. Another honorable mention was The Most Wonderful Crime of the Year. ARC ID 45220, created by @DefeatAllSnakes, 3 missions. Description is, Granville is in the middle of an anti-Christmas crackdown. Trees are torn down, gifts confiscated, carolers hit with riot hoses, and none dare resist. None, that is, but a rumor-shadowed figure who seeks those willing to defy Recluse's edict. One the villains of the Isles call only the Sandman. And then the another one, I like this one. Honorable mention also for I Hate Christmas Music, ARC ID 44913, created by @Policewoman, 3 missions. Description is, 'tis the season for Christmas music, but that's simply the worst when you're a troll raver like the Boogeyman. Help the Boogeyman put an end to the scourge that is Christmas music and replace it with something with a more danceable beat. And then the actual winner, the first place winner for the Hollywood AE contest, Murder on 34th Street by @Charlie. ARC ID 45294, 3 missions. Description, Santa Claus has been framed for a crime he did not commit. If you don't help prove his innocence, he'll be spending Christmas behind bars. Dev Review says, a great arc that has so many different layers while finding a way to have a beautiful simplicity. Definitely an arc I'd play over and over again that feels like it has the potential to be a classic. And congratulations to all of those winners. I do like featuring the AE contest winners, the dev favorites, just because there's a lot of really cool content out there, like that people are developing, that players are developing and having a lot of fun and creativity. And I think it's, for people that are like, oh, I'm so tired of running the same missions over and over, go try out AE, because there are folks that are putting their blood, sweat, and tears into this stuff. And some of it's really, really good. So I really recommend you go just take a spin, even if all you do is try one of the 3 or 4 that I'll recommend whenever they drop, just give it a try. Mm-hmm. And then just a reminder that the weekly strike target this week is it's all respec week. So all 6 trials are worth double merits, and that ends, I think, when does that end is that Monday, I think? And then the next ones, it's the new cycle begins again, and it'll be Rule of 3 with Positron, Damn Hero, Positron 2, and Virgil Terracos. So that's what we have coming after this one ends.
Cool.
And then I'm going to punch my microphone. Depth perception, you guys. Depth perception. No, my microphone headset hasn't arrived yet.
Timberwolf says I should really try out Architect Entertainment at some point on both sides of it. Yeah, I haven't done any creation. I've run a lot of arcs, but yeah, I need to get in there and dig into that, and then especially so we could podcast about it. Hey,
yeah.
Very cool.
So that's all I've got.
Right on. This episode, our main topic is travel power changes. And basically, so there were a bunch of recent changes to the core travel pools. And I thought we would also expand that to basically all of the different ways to get around in this game, because it's really exploded, especially since it was live. There's a lot of different ways to get to a lot of different places. And in researching this a little bit, I saw that the most traveled, the most connected is Talos Island. Fun fact. But so the recent changes were implemented earlier this year, April 20th, 2021, and the devs wrote that the main goals of the changes are that there's basically like 5 tenets they were trying to cover. First of all, real travel powers should always be a significant step up over the free options, meaning temporary jetpacks should not be almost the same speed as fly at level 50. 2 is real travel powers should never cause you to lose something you've already got, meaning turning on super speed shouldn't cause you to lose Ninja Run's jump buff. 3rd, classic travel powers should be on even footing with Origin Pool travel powers, meaning Fly and Mystic Flight should be different but equal options as far as maximizing speeds. 4th, slotting travel powers for speed should actually matter, meaning putting a fly speed enhancement in Fly should make you actually fly faster. And the last is Prestige Run and temporary jetpacks shouldn't be made any slower than they currently are, meaning a player who just wants to keep Ninja Run shouldn't really lose anything. That's what they're used to. So the first big change to make all of this work is travel power stacking. Before, most travel powers were completely exclusive. If you turned on one, it would toggle off any others you had. So almost all travel powers are no longer mutually exclusive and can be activated at the same time, but only the strongest buff of each type, so like run speed, jump height, fly speed, will apply. So this ensures that every power you pick or activate will only ever improve your mobility. There are a couple exceptions. Click buffs like inertial reduction, external buffs like speed boost, and auto powers like Swift still stack as they did before. Prestige run powers like Ninja Run, Beast Run, Athletic are still mutually exclusive with each other because they're like the exact class of thing. Temporary jetpacks are still mutually exclusive with each other. Sprint powers will stack with other run speed buffs and are still mutually exclusive with each other. And some Peacebringer flight powers and effects are mutually exclusive with their vanilla counterparts. So yes, travel power stacking was one of the biggest changes. Level scaling was the other big change. Travel powers no longer increase in strength as you level up. The previous level 50 values now apply at all levels. So yeah, it used to matter what level you were, and you would get little speed boosts as each level, and now we're just all cruising at level 50 speeds. Travel speed caps no longer increase in strength as you level up. The previous level 50 now apply to all levels. And Concealment got probably the biggest change. Concealment has been updated to include a new sneaky and versatile travel option called Infiltration. So Concealment is now classed as a travel pool. The first 3 powers in the pool are available immediately instead of just the first 2. Invisibility and Stealth have been merged together, and the best parts of both powers are now available with just Stealth. And Infiltration now sits where Invisibility used to be in the T3 slot, Tier 3. So Stealth, the stealth radius increased to match the numbers Invisibility had before. Out of combat defense has doubled from 3.5% to 7%. Pretty sweet. The defense bonuses suppression in the power has been cleaned up and will now suppress if the user attacks, heals, or buffs an ally, commands a pet, is hit by a foe, or the user attacks or interacts with the mission objective. In combat, defense is unchanged, and added a new invisible customization theme that makes the player barely visible when it's active. And the new Infiltration replaces Invisibility as Concealment's Tier 3 power, grants a run and jump bonus similar to Ninja Run, grants out-of-combat stealth, and the stealth radius is 36 feet in PvE and 389 feet in PvP, and it grants a 1.75% out-of-combat defense. So yeah, those are the stealthy changes.
So, so Timber said something that I think would be wonderful for you to go over, again, maybe in different words. Timber says, I really don't know what the point of getting Infiltration when you can just get Stealth and have Ninja Run or something. So, with what you just read, what is the difference like that we're talking about there?
Well, so yeah, it sounds to me like Stealth and Ninja Run would have. It sounds like would be better. Your out of combat defense would be higher. I don't know.
I think it just comes down to preference. Like there isn't one right answer. It's what you prefer and what works best for you.
Less toggling. You only have to click one button for Infiltration. Instead of having to turn on Stealth and Ninja Run. I don't know. So the other travel pools changes. Flight Pool, Hover, added a new no-pose customization theme that allows you to remove the hover stance. Note that the hover stance has a higher priority than the default fly stance, meaning if hover is active, it will always apply, even if other flight powers are also active, unless it's been disabled in the power customization. For Fly now increases your fly speed cap by 50% while toggled on, so it went from 58.6 miles to 87.9 miles per hour. This increased cap is the equivalent of fully slotting the old version of Afterburner, and the increased cap does not apply in PvP. Fly Afterburner now is built into Fly as a free secondary, so it pops up that little extra server tray on the top. Extra server tray power that does not require a power pick. If you already had Fly, you now also have Afterburner for free. And it's a timed toggle, 30-second duration with a 60-second cooldown, which increases your flight speed cap by another 25% up to 102.27 miles per hour, and speeds you up significantly. No longer applies only effect self or any other effects. Evasive Maneuvers has inherited most of Afterburner's old defensive effects. Added a minimal effects customization theme, so cut down on the visuals, and Null the Goal will allow you to hide Afterburner's pop-up tray. We've got a group fly. This power now applies to all pets regardless of their distance from the caster, which is very nice for masterminds. No longer inaccurately claims it applies negative accuracy. I never realized it did. And we got Evasive Maneuvers replaces the old version of Afterburner as the flight's Tier 5 power. If you previously had Afterburner, you now have Evasive Maneuvers. Note that if you previously had Fly, the speed bonus given before by Afterburner is built into Fly for free, so you'll get the new version of Afterburner. Oh, so you still get the pop-up. Evasive Maneuvers is a defensive toggle with moderate endurance cost, aimed at providing you with excellent airborne combat mobility. So it's got those super speed stopping like hover. Provides you the following effects whilst another flight pool power, fly, hover, or group fly is also active. Negative fly and immobilization protection, knockback resistance, which we love, significant air control, some unsuppressed flight speed, allowing you to fly much faster during combat. Also provides the same level of defense as old Afterburner while out of combat, but this is removed while in combat. Okay. This bonus is suppressed for 10 seconds when entering combat, the same as Stealth's out of combat defense, and the defense bonuses will suppress if the user attacks, heals, or buffs an ally, commands a pet, or interacts with a mission objective. Of course it does. Did I get any comments? Nope. Okay.
I mean, there's all kinds of comments.
Sorcery pool.
Okay, go ahead. No, I thought you were really asking.
I don't know. We're learning as we go, right?
Yeah.
And I'm dancing with myself.
So Dythok's comment was, infiltration is like an enhanceable ninja run, but it can double dip from HOs that buff both run and jump speed. Taxi says, adds that extra 7.5 Luck of the Gambler global recharge. And Timberwolf says, with Afterburner thrown in for free is very good. Yep.
Yeah, nice.
And Ferric Zorn had asked if there was new content, if the developers of the server actually are adding new content and storylines. I just logged in and I see it's all Christmas themed. So Atlas Park is decorated for Christmas. Pretty much the other zones, the only thing you really see are presents to click on for rewards and such. And but there's a ton. Well, I wouldn't say a ton. There's 2 new arcs, and I can't remember how many that they've done before this last issue, but they've released a couple of new storyline, well, it was a storyline, and then it was the Dr. Aeon Strike Force. I don't remember what was before those 2 things, but yeah, they've been doing a great job writing new content. And I just want to add that the new Strike Force that they did, they played with the difficulty settings instead of having, the usual -1, +1, 0, whatever, and then scaling the number of whatever mobs. They have added some really interesting difficulty changes, and we talked about that on a previous podcast, so I won't go into detail there. But it's really fun and challenging in a new way, and something that everybody is hoping that they've even said that they're going to roll it out to everywhere, but it's a lot of fun now. So yeah, good stuff that they're bringing out.
Taxi says there's a new badge for this winter theme, License to Chill.
I would love to see them do more with the Shadow Shard. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Trauma
right.
Train, Shadow Shard, and enjoyable. Yeah, so Dollhouse had said makes the Shadow Shard far more enjoyable. Trauma saying Shadow Shard and enjoyable don't go together in the same sentence. And then Ferric Zorn saying I would love to see them do more with the Shadow Shard. Yeah, it's a huge zone, and right now the stuff that we have to do there, the most common thing that you hear about it is complaints about all the time that you spent flying between zones or missions and such.
Yeah.
So pretty over there, though.
Yeah.
So, sorcery pool.
The sorcery pool had a couple updates. Mystic Flight now increases your flight speed cap by 50% while toggled on up to 87.9. This increased cap does not apply to PvP. And Mystic Flight translocation range increased from 300 to 350 feet. The cast time was reduced a bit. The endurance cost was reduced. And note, the rest of Sorcery has received an overhaul. See the Sorcery Pool updates thread for more specific details, which we're not going to go directly into. They had some other little tweaks. In the Speed Pool, Super Speed now increased to run speed cap by 30% while toggle on, up to 120.25 miles per hour. Super Speed remains the fastest travel power pool thing. It's the fastest way you can travel. Depending on how you look at, fastest raw speed, I should say. This increased cap does not apply in PvP. It now has, Super Speed now has a new momentum leap mechanic. Running will build up momentum, allowing you to perform a single very high, very long jump after approximately 4 seconds of running. Jumping will cause you to expend your momentum after landing. You'll need to remain grounded and running in order to charge up to do another momentum jump. Super Speed's icon will gain a yellow ring when you are at the maximum momentum and you're able to jump. And then there's also Super Speed and Speed Phase as a new secondary, pops up the little extra tray. Secondary power that does not require a power pick. It's a toggle. It requires moderate endurance, and it removes collisions with characters. So it's like phase shift without being untargetable. And it sets you to only affect self. And it allows you to pass through enemies, allies, civilians, cars, even the Atlas Park blimp. The effects of this power will suppress if you are attacked or damaged by an enemy. Note, as this power doesn't actually make you intangible, it does not trigger and is not affected by the no phase timer. Null the Goal will allow you to get rid of that extra pop-up tray if you want. I really enjoy this new little power. You just pop on your Super Speed, pop on Speed Phase, and you literally just go through everything. You just phase shift. You don't stop for anything except for, buildings.
Oh, wow.
But
so that's
cars,
the usual thing that stops me.
Cars, other people, mobs, you just zip right through them. It's pretty cool. The experimental pool, Speed of Sound, now increases your run speed by 30% up to 120. This increased cap does not apply to PvP, so puts it on par with Super Speed. In the leaping pool, Super Jump now increases your jump speed cap by 30% up to 101.8. Does not apply to PvP, and you can now do double jumps. So as a free secondary pop-up, server trait pop-up, it's a time toggle, 30-second duration, 10 seconds in PvP, and a 30-second cooldown that is shared with a jump pack or Steam jump. It allows you to jump an unlimited height and jump again in midair. So if you just hold the spacebar, you just continuously keep going up until it runs out. And you go down. Null the Goal can, of course, turn off that little pop-up tray. We've got the Force of Will pool, Mighty Leap, now increased your jump speed by 30%, going up to 101.8, not applying in PvP, and they have a new extension called Takeoff. I'm sorry, that's not new. Mighty Leap Takeoff now increases jump speed cap by a further 10%, so up to 110.39, boosts Mighty Leap to put you at the jump speed cap for 30 seconds. Previously, the bonus was just under 20%, but now it stacks with the 30% bonus from Mighty Leap itself. In the teleportation pool, we've got Teleport Target The following changes have been made when teleporting allies only. The teleport foe component remains unchanged. Removed the 4-second interrupt window, significantly speeding up the activation time. Increased the recharge by 4%. These two changes combined result in the total time between teleports being the same if you have no recharge buffs or enhancements, but it will be much faster if you slot for or are buffed for recharge. Under teleport, base range increased from 300 feet to 350 feet. Enhanced ranged 2 times level 50 IOs increased up to 523 feet. The post-teleport hover buff has been adjusted, so your how you hover longer now lasts up to 15 seconds instead of 6. The hover buff will cancel if you move, interact with an object, attack a foe, or are attacked by a foe. Teleport's endurance cost is reduced by 50% while this hover effect buff is active, allowing you to use much less endurance when chaining teleports over long distances, which was, really needed. Activation time was reduced from 2 seconds to 1.5, and the actual teleport now happens at 1 second into activation instead of 1.97, almost 2. This allows you slightly more time to select your location of your next target, your next teleport target. Location targeting has also received some improvements, which also affect teleport. So there's a bunch of extra section in the forum notes about that. I haven't tried. I was turned off the teleport so early on. It was such a hassle, clicking, and always running out of endurance. So I haven't touched it in a minute. Seems like
I know Dythok uses it with success. He has macros that do some witchcraft. I'm not sure.
That's right.
Yeah, so there's definitely some tricks to it to make it a lot easier out there. If it's something that you wanted to try again, it's something I've been toying with doing on the next character I run up, so that'd be really entertaining, especially if I'm not able to master it.
That sounds like these changes will make it less tedious for sure.
Yeah.
Speaking of Keldians, Peacebringer Energy Flight mirrored all I-27 page 2 changes for Fly. I don't have a handy reference on what that is, so I'm just going to pass by. Energy Flight Quantum Acceleration, now built into Energy Flight as a free secondary server tray pop-up. It doesn't require a power pick. Mirrored all the changes for Afterburner. Oh, okay. Note that Quantum Acceleration shares a cooldown with Afterburner. Combat Flight's defensive buff is mutually exclusive with Hover's defensive buff. And in Quantum Fight, endurance cost has been reduced from 2.6 to 0.65, so a lot. Puts the endurance cost in line with phase shift. Quantum Maneuvers replaces Quantum Acceleration as a picked power. If you previously had Quantum Acceleration, you now have Quantum Maneuvers. Note that you will also still have Quantum Acceleration because it's built into Energy Flight. Mechanically identical to Evasive Maneuvers, but it's prettier. Note that Quantum Maneuvers cannot be activated at the same time as Evasive Maneuvers. And White Dwarf Step, the post-teleport hover buff, can now be canceled simply by moving. Oh, nice. Yeah, it used to be just kind of suspended there for a little bit while you just waited. For the Warshade, Shadow Recall got all the changes that Teleport Target got. Shadow Step got the changes for Teleport, apart from the animation time adjustment. Shadow Step already had the same activation time. Nebulous Form endurance cost has been reduced from 2.6 to 0.65 per second. Puts the endurance cost in line with phase shift. And Black Dwarf Step, the post-teleport hover buff, can now be cancelled by moving. Same as the Peacebringer. Nice. And the last changes are to Prestige and Temporary Powers. Ninja Run, Beast Run, Athletic Run, and Temporary Jetpacks. All travel speeds have remained unchanged. They have normalized the endurance cost across them to 0.57 per second, slightly higher than Fly's. These weren't consistent before. Most were lower, some were higher. The PvP jetpack has not been modified, still has a 2.0 per second endurance cost. These powers no longer benefit from global endurance discounts. Interesting. Rocket board, the magic carpet, and the void skiff no longer disable all other powers, which is nice. Now applies only affecting self. Fly speed reduced to match unslotted fly. Previously, you couldn't use anything even swift to increase your fly speed using these powers, so they had a slightly increased speed by default. This is no longer the case since you can now stack with other flight powers to fly at higher speeds in style. They can no longer be used in the arena. And the last one, the Panther travel power, the jump height and speed has increased to match the Coyote travel power. This is a lot of changes.
Yeah.
That's so many changes that I don't think that there's really time to do both of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think with this one, we're just going to stick to travel pools.
Yeah.
I had included all of the other ways to get around. So the transit lines, the helicopters, the ferries, the ships, the subs, the tunnel system, long-range teleporter, base teleporters, Ouroboros, LFGQ, Fine Context, Pocket D, Midnighters Club. So yeah, we're going to save all those for next time.
Yeah.
For sure. So what next up is actually just the travel power pools. So what exactly are these? Those were like lots of things changed, but what does it actually look like now when you go to click and start up a character? Starting with, I believe the most commonly chosen is flight. What's that?
Just the gentleman walking behind you.
Oh,
on the screen. The slow walk.
Thanks.
I believe we know that gentleman.
Oh.
I think that is the wonderful Mr. Greb. Greb doing the slow walk
Nice.
behind you. Sorry.
So in the flight pool, we still start out with hover, which is a very low speed, but very high control. You can kind of, as soon as you let off the button, it just boom, stops, right? There's air superiority that lets you, you know what, I didn't write in all of the definition things for these. But that's the one that knocks other people out of the air, right? Boom.
I was reading.
Two-handed overhead melee attack. Yes, can knock a flying target to the ground. I throw him on the ground. I think I have that. So yeah, air superiority. Will knock a foe out of the sky. For some reason, on mine, it has fly next. Which is very simple because, you know, it's fly. Everybody knows what flying is. It's what Superman does.
My favorite. I mean, it just keeps me out of trouble if I'm like flying above between missions.
So we have an Afterburner, as mentioned in the patches, so it lets you fly even faster, up to 102, 30 seconds at a time. Allows fly to match super jump's new speed. For short bursts, it wouldn't be appropriate if it matched it permanently. And the live version of Afterburner took your cap to 87 when fully slotted. Fly and Mystic Flight now have this cap by default without the need for additional power picks. Cool. Group Fly basically lets all of your teammates nearby fly with you. This is one way to really piss people off. A lot of people don't like it. And I think only really masterminds use it now that to fly their pets around with them. And a lot of them don't even do that. They just dismiss them and, pull them back up wherever they end up.
That's what I do, to be honest.
Or I'll tell them to stay and then on the other end, tell them to come to me and they teleport to you. Unless you're too close to the ground, then they magic. Yeah, it's the whole thing. Evasive Maneuvers. While either fly, hover, or group fly are active, Evasive Maneuvers increases fly speed and movement control. Also grants resistances to knockback and protection against negative fly and immobilization. I don't believe I have taken that on any character yet, and it sounds pretty cool. I like... That's the main reason that I take hover is really for knockback resistance.
Yeah. Plus,
right?
it's more fun to spin in the air than fall on your ass, I think.
Yeah.
Just my opinion.
Next pool is leaping. So in the leaping, these are the levels. You can get them at first 3 tiers at level 4, then finals at 14. So acrobatics is another one that avoids knockback effects. It's like a defensive toggle. It's pretty good. Combat jumping is another one that has a really nice defense boost that can be well enhanced. So I use that in a lot of builds. Jump kick is an extra attack. And then spring attack, you leap into the air and smash down among ranks of foes in the blink of an eye. So it's a big point blank area of effect that does foe knockdown. And you actually, is that self-teleport? Yeah. That's one where you spring into them and poof. That's a good starter move. And super jump was explained pretty well with the changes now that it has the big change being a double jump. So it got speed boosts, or the speed got boosted, and then double jump got added in there. We've got teleportation would be the next one. So a teleport target is happy. It's melee types really dig that one. You can teleport. Not combat teleport. Well, yeah, no, that's right. This is a good opening, a starter one. Teleport a moderate distance into the middle of your enemies, basically. And it surprises foes, giving your next attack a small 2-hit advantage. Power can be used up to 3 times in a row before it starts recharging. With the combat teleport is unaffected by range changes. And you've got fold space, teleports enemies from up to 100 feet away into melee range of the caster. Must be at least 14.
Dybok really likes that one. He mentioned that one in the comments too.
Come to me, butthead. A team teleport. You can teleport yourself and your nearby teammates to a targeted location. They must be in close proximity to you. It costs slightly more endurance than teleport, but you can teleport your entire team for no additional cost. Must be at least 14. I don't really hardly ever see that used. Ever at all.
Yeah.
Good old teleport is just click, 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 click. It does. Actually, I think it may technically be the fastest travel power over even running. But it's very active because you have to select your destinations before you fall from the sky, but that's going to happen in a shorter period of time, so it sounds like it could be a lot easier. Teleport target, which to me I thought is basically what full space is. Teleport a single foe or ally directly next to yourself. That's right, because it used to be teleport other, and then that's right, and they merged them.
Yeah, recall friend and teleport.
Yeah. A successful hit must be made in order to teleport foes. Some powerful foes cannot be teleported. Enemy players that are teleported will be temporarily out of phase and cannot be targeted or damaged. This power can be interrupted while teleporting foes. Note the power will stop TP foe attributes. Oh, will show TP foe attributes. That makes more sense. TP friend will have a 10,000 foot range, 6-second recharge, and 5.93 second activation time. Next is...
Hey, babe, can I ask how much more you have to read? Because it's 6
Not
o'clock.
very much.
Okay.
Yeah. One pool and then a couple small things. Yeah. Concealment is one of the sets of power pools available to all heroes and villains. They grant invisibility and stealth. So, yeah, it is a little weird that this is a full-on travel pool because it's really more about hiding and invisibilities. But they specifically made it a travel pool, I think, because of infiltration. So before there's grant invisibility, which you could give on your teammates, and it gives them some defensive buffs as well as making them invisible. So, they're not causing aggro unless they attack. With the infiltration, we talked about that as the change of it. It's a brand new thing that they created. So it's like basically a super duper stealth that gives you extra run speed and really boosts up your defenses. Misdirection basically placates your foes. It's an anti-taunt. Causes them to break off their attacks. The momentary lack of awareness this causes also leads to reduced resistance to damage for a short time. Pretty sweet. The phase shift actually makes you come out of phase with the normal space. Although you do not become completely invisible, you are translucent and hard to see. You are intangible and cannot affect or be affected by those in normal space. Although the power is a toggle, you can't stay in that phase forever. You can't do it for more than 30 seconds, even if you still have endurance. Cannot be used with rest. Ooh, that would be sweet. You must be at least level 14 and have 2 other concealment powers to take it. And then you have stealth, which is you become mostly invisible, though it's not quite as good as a full-on invisible. But it's great because it gives you some extra defense. Yeah. And I think that was what was... oh, okay. So there's a couple other that you don't think of as travel pools, but they do have travel powers. So experimentation has the speed of sound, which is basically like super speed. Force of will has mighty leap, which is basically the same as super jump. Sorcery has mystic flight, which is almost the same as fly. And then, of course, the Keldians, in Nova form, they have Nova flight. Teespringers get the group energy flight and their quantum flight. And the Warshades get starless step and nebulous form, which are also great travel powers. So those are all the inherent ways that you can travel in the game. Ta-da!
So from the comments, we have a few that I want to pull out. Yeah. Taxi had said earlier, if you haven't been on to see Echo Plaza, it's a zone where costume contests occur and some eye trials are held from. It is placed in the Shadow Shard map. I agree, though. More shard stuff. That is a good point. There are a couple of places on the map that don't get a lot of. Aren't any like activities there. There aren't any contacts there. They're just like gathering places, and they're really somebody put a lot of time into them, and that's a really nice one there. Let's see. Rich, if you use super speed only and get stuck in a trench in Terra Volta, just message a friend to come TP you out. That happened. Let's see. Taxi said teleport is now the fastest travel power. Awesome because awesome and I hate it at the same time because I'm a speedster. Setting up a keybind to use teleport when you hold L, shift, and click. It's super easy and fast. Nice. Lobster Live says combat teleport is the best addition to the pool so far. And Dythok said no, that goes to fold space. Zero says, perma light form for the win, otherwise known as imp heart attack every 2 minutes. True story. Yeah, the empathy, the healers for that it's no joke. Let's see. Combat teleport is pretty sexy still, Dythok says. And Doll says, got pretty sexy, got effed on my phone or something. I'm not quite sure what that is. It asterisked out something, and it's like, oh my. And yes, Merry Christmas to you, Evolve. We finally got things started up. Let's see. I miss the old tier 4 speed tele attack. Zero says. Doll sticks her tongue out at the Peacebringer. There was another. Oh, and I started putting shout outs to all of the streamers that I was able to see are in the chat. So each one is somebody that I recommend, that I watch, and that I enjoy their stream, both as entertainment and also as the people that I've gotten to know them as. They're all like really cool people, so I endorse all of them. Let's see. Yeah, Doll says she hears Rich passes out corn dogs on his stream. Yes, you're welcome for the shout outs, y'all. Timber says group fly, group teleporter, fun concepts that I've never used. Zero asks, did they get rid of the minus defense on group fly?
I don't think so.
Let's see. Dythok says correct. There is no debuff applied to group fly now, other than group fly itself. No need to get, Doll's like, no need to get pissed about group fly. Just talk to Null and you become immune. That's a good point. Did you
Yeah.
point that out, Chooch?
No, I didn't.
Say that again. Go ahead and point that out.
So a lot of people will get group flied against their will, but if you go to know the goal, you can turn that off so that you don't automatically fly. As the same thing with speed boost, that you won't get randomly speed boost and run into walls.
Yeah. Zero says it should be something that is turned on and not forcing players to run off to turn it off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. I'm just glad we can do it now. Can remember the world where you couldn't? Timber says the increase of teleporty attacks is pretty neat. Maybe I should roll a Nightcrawler soon. He is one of my favorite X-Men. And hey, Ash, how's it going? Yeah, that needs to be changed to the AT power. Assemble the team seems much better. Assemble the team is it's like a mission saver a lot of times. Teleport foe. PP foe was Terra bad, Dythok says. Having it lumped in with recall friend helps. I agree. I like it there. Yeah. Doll says it was a great way to sneaky pull enemies, and it still is. Timber also says, or bring back an enemy that was running. I really like that. That hasn't occurred to me before, but I'll have to remember it.
Get over here.
Yeah, teleporting an enemy who's running away and they run into a wall for the final bit of damage. Dythok says teleport foe was hidden mechanics, which I'm never a fan of. Could grab a minion +4 your level. Could grab a lieutenant only as high as an even level, and a boss had to be -4 your level to grab it.
Oh, wow.
That is pretty frustrating. Yeah, there's not even a point really. Doll says, anyone in the chat that's not followed Chooch and Viv yet, please give a follow and help reach that goal. Good point. Oh yeah, did you mention walk? Taxi asks. We have Grub demonstrating it in the background behind Cooler. Let's see. Command Rumnog is Viv's fave. Zero says that was so good last night, you guys. It was so good. Eggnog with rum, and I used like the Hawaiian rum that we have, the dark rum, so it was like Doll says, I didn't type a bad word, I guess she just wrote the asterisks out. I can't say that. If you are in game, type group fly with the square brackets and you can read it out. They didn't get rid of minus defense on group fly, Mr. $1 Million says. Nice.
I am not on a league.
It's used more of an elegant. Yep. All these things are true. So I think I'm going to do my disappearing camera act and turn on the stream on my end because I'm 8 minutes late right now.
Yes,
but
we are late to start, late to end.
Yeah. See you
late
on the
to
other
start,
side.
late to end. All right. Yeah, we'll see you in a minute. So yeah, coming up next, as we normally do our Saturday heroing on Viv's Twitch channel, twitch.tv/vividmuse. And so I'm going to raid her channel. And once she gets things set up there, we hadn't really discussed what our next topic was going to be, which is good since this one has to be broken in two. So on our next episode here, we're going to discuss all of those different ways to get around in the game that are not normal travel powers. So like I mentioned, we've got the transit lines, the Paragon City monorail. You've got ferries in both Rogue Isles and Paragon. There's the black helicopters. There's the tunnel system. There's tricks that a lot of people know, but they're still, unfamiliar to some people, like LFG queues, how to lock it and travel for free, the find contact, that sort of thing. We're going to go through all of the ways, connections into Pocket Ds, the way all the different zones connect into each other, all that kind of stuff. So I started working on like a grand unified map of how to get from place to place, which I started as a spreadsheet because I love spreadsheets. And then somehow I'm hoping to turn that data into a beautiful and, easy to reference way. So like if you're here, or like if you want to get to there and you're here, then here's all of your options on how to do one or the other. Could theoretically be an app. Nah, I'm not going to do that. That would take way too much time. I shouldn't say things like that. Right? But it'll start as a spreadsheet and it may turn into a piece of art or something else, or maybe some kind of clicky interactive thingy. But that's what's going to be next up for us, is all of the traveling and all of that. Thank you so much, everybody who came in to the chat and joined us here, especially on the holiday. And
we appreciate it.
Yeah. We will be back in 2 weeks with episode 55 to go over all those other things I just talked about. And I am going to clicky the outro as well as the rating right now.
Bring it.
And we will talk to you next time. Thanks so much for everybody joining us. This podcast, its hosts, and websites are not in any way affiliated with NCSoft, Cryptic Studios, or Homecoming servers.
All views expressed are solely of the hosts and their guests.
This podcast is released under a Creative Commons Attribution, Non-Commercial, Share-alike license, which is explained in detail at CoHPodcast.com.
Good hunting, heroes.